Okay, so what we got here? Another delivery from today from Sobelia. Now this should be the cardamom version of BVLGARI, the BVLGARI ORIENT. So this I'm just noting right now, simply I'm recording because the packaging is very shabby. You know, you just got bubble wrap around the box, so you could see the box right here, the edge of the box, and this is the bubble wrap. So hopefully this is my first delivery from Chronopost and DPD together. Chronopost, they seem to give it in smaller vans or something, delivering it to another person before you deliver it to another DPD to sort of intercede with the track, you know, intersect the track line. So let's check this out. Okay, let's see if it's open. Let's see if it's broken. Hopefully it's not come in pieces. Looks alright from the top. Ooh. Yes, I got this simply because it was like a limited edition now, because not many people can get this from online nowadays. Minus 60, it's about 60 mil, but people paying around about £90 for 60 mil now, and after that it just goes ridiculous the price. So it's almost like it's discontinued, but I think it's just out of stock for most people. But whatever. So I snatched a bottle for £56 including delivery. It's pretty nice. £58 including delivery, I'd say 56, 58 including delivery from Sobelia. And this took a while to come. It took about 2 weeks. But still, let's see, you know, all about original products. You can have something coming a few months later from Russia, but I wouldn't trust it. Oh my god, let me do this with one hand. Okay. So let's give it a go. BVLGARI Man Black Orient. Yeah, took about 2 sprays. Alright. One on each side of the neck. Ooh, it's already coming on strong. Very warm, nice and warm and spicy. Definitely a little bit more green. It's coming on a bit more green than the Man in Black, which is more of a black leather. This is black leather, but with sweet green cardamom spice notes that bring a nice warmth to it. It sort of holds that spice note that you get in BVLGARI Black Man that fades to the back over time. But you always get that musky, faded spice mix, which is it's like aniseed star. Yes, I just paused to do a little fragrantica check, and it's the Taif rose that I'm smelling in the BVLGARI Man Black Orient, and it's similar to the Turkish rose in the John Vivatius Oud, but the Turkish rose has a more rounded floral note with a slight spiciness, but the Taif rose has a more rounded, full spicy note, in the way that it has spicy in many floral ways. So what I get from this, getting a deep leather, a little bit of oud. It's not yeah, you get that sort of Gucci oud atmosphere, that sort of, it's a little bit musky, It's oud on the musky side. It's not deep, and it's not fecal or sour. It's just a musky. It's a strong. It's like a strong white musk. Well, white musk is more of the lighter musk, and the dark Egyptian black musks or brown musks are a bit darker and more like, are stronger, and could come off as fecal as well, which is that sort of sour note. I know that people use the word fecal a lot, so I'm sort of explaining it when people say, what the hell is that? Yeah, I mean, so we went back into the Oud Paulo, and we discussed the fecal as very sour and a little bit off-putting, not very crowd-pleasing. This, however, is a lot of strong white musk, similar to Gucci Oud. I remember they made an Oud, and it was it has that fantastic office-friendly white musk vibe, but beware, this is not an office scent, because overall the Thai rose makes it spicy in a multitude of ways. And mixing with the layer of spice that's already there, and the leather, and the uplifting yet strong lotus-like note of the tuberose, this is wow, this is great. But it's very unique, and it's more of a lounge scent that you could wear after work. But this you could get by at work as a more masculine, office, fresh, yet versatile, slightly rugged, because of the leather nuances perfume that you could wear at work, and you could wear it after work for, you know, if you're going out with friends, drinks or whatever. You know, it has a sort of, I mean, you wouldn't smell like a drunk, you don't smell like old alcohol or whatever, but this is like fresh, sort of like just open whiskey or something. Like you get like a fresh boozy note from it. Really, I'd say it's a masculine, animalic leather note that really holds till the end, and it's accentuated by the contrast of the light lotus and the dark animalic notes that go into the leather note. But you can still smell the DNA of Bulgari Man in Black in here, with the tuberose, the light upliftingness, but it's very much spiced up. Overall, I say Bulgari Man Black Orient is a great casual scent that could be worn in the winter, in the fall, but I wouldn't sort of count it out for summer, simply because I like a spicy, sort of leathery scent, and I feel that the notes that would come off more in winter, more the spices and the leather, don't really come off as strong in the summer. They could come off as slightly more animalic, but the spicy note in the Thai rose is such a round spice. I believe I can rely on it to keep me lightly spiced in the summer, but the tuberose and lotus effect would give it a nice enough effect to sort of bring it into a more refreshing vibe. I wouldn't say it's refreshing like a blue or like a citrus sort of scent. It's definitely a spicy scent, from the top and the cardamom to the fully rounded spicy floral note of the Thai rose and the base of leather. And this does not have tonka bean like the Bulgari Man in Black, so there's no sweet break that you may remember in Versace Eros, and no sweet creamy break that you get from the spice. It goes into oud in the base, which is quite if it's unforgiving if you're not used to that, but it's not a very strong oud. That's the thing. You would think that on the base notes, if you looked if you looked at the notes, the oud would sound very strong after all this spice, but I feel that actually rounds it off in quite a formal way. But it's definitely not formal enough to actually wear in a formal setting. I think it just gives it a formal class, but not enough formality to wear in a formal situation. So that's my review of BVLGARI Man Black Orient. I think it's a great scent casually, but I would definitely say that BVLGARI Man in black is a more versatile option, and that's probably why I bought a slightly bigger bottle of it. This is 100ml, the other one's 60. Plus, I couldn't find it online actually, Black Orient, for a bigger bottle size for a decent price. This is going upwards of £90 now. I've seen, I got mine for 58 including delivery, which is, I think, is a great price for any perfume of this quality. In terms of the lasting power of the BVLGARI Man in Black, I would say, oh, by the way, this is an iris based fragrance, and on the base it's got leather, in the middle it's got the same tuberose note, and whiskey and spices base. But what I really like about this is the versatility and the clash, not really the clash, but nice contrast, I'd say, between the light and the dark notes. The light notes being the uplifting tuberose lotus-like note, and the iris, and a little bit of sweetness in the base from the tonka bean. And the opposite is true of this one. The Black Orient, they have oud instead of tonka bean, and instead of making it lighter on the top note, they make cardamom sweetness. So this is the lighter version, not in terms of ciliage, or actually I'd say that this projects more, the Black Orient, but simply because it's a sharper scent. It's a sharper scent. And this is a cleaner, more crisp scent, because iris always does that to a fragrance. It always makes it almost office friendly because it's so crisp and sweet, so I would be using this more often, I would say, because it's more versatile and I'll be able to mix that. But I do have a penchant, I do have a love for the more spicy fragrances, so I'd say I'd have more excuses to wear this, but I'd probably try and wear this more. I'm just loving it so much. What I get after, so I've been wearing it for about 30 minutes now, and as it's dried down, I'm working backwards, so I don't know, I got the oud, tyrfrose, cardamom, oud, tyrfrose, a little bit of the spices, but more of the leather, strong leather. It's animalic and slightly bitter, but it's not fecal. So this is never going to be so offensive that you're going to turn someone. You're not going to turn someone away, but it's not a dad scent either. It's not a leather and predictable, black leather and a little bit of sweetness in that. It's sweet, spicy. It's it's got a bad boy. It's got a bad boy vibe about it. It's got some sweet sexiness to it, spicy. It's alluring in a dark way. As I said before, brooding, as in taking time, and like a thinking man's alchemist potion. This has been formulated to bring a lot out of the spices and just really have a full rounded spicy effect. So I'd recommend this to anybody who likes spicy perfumes. So what do I think about BVLGARI Man Black Orient? I believe that this is a spicier version of the BVLGARI Man in Black. What I like about this is how it opens up with a cardamom note, which is almost gourmand in its sweetness, mixed with the spices top note. opening up very spicy, slightly gourmand, and leading into a middle notes of tuberose and Taif rose. Now this is the same tuberose that is with the BVLGARI Man in Black. In fact, this shares tuberose, leather, and a whiskey note. But that's about it. Where it differs is the Taif rose, which introduces a multitude of spicy floral notes within the Taif rose, which are very complex, light, slightly sweet, almost like cinnamon, but much darker. It's almost like a mix between the cinnamon and tamarind. Tamarind, which is sweet and bitter, but spicy in its sourness. So it's sweet, sour, floral, and it really plays off the spices very well, especially the tuberose. And I believe that the tuberose in the middle is the fresh pillar of the fragrance, which brings a fresh breath of fresh air, almost like a water lily or lotus vibe, which really, when contrasted with the spices, I say it's a pillar because it gives the breath of fresh air to all the spices in the perfume, so it's not overwhelming. And in the base we have that classic leather, but instead of the tonka bean in the BVLGARI Man in Black, we have an oud note. Now this oud is like a Gucci white musk oud. Like it's not a dark Egyptian oud which is more fecal or animalic. It just has that smart sort of vibe, and I think this is the smartest thing about it. The tuberose and the oud note, I think they're the most formal parts of it. The whiskey and cardamom is a very playerish vibe, and the spices with Taif rose makes it almost mystical in how brooding, I use the word as someone who would take their time and, you know, think about things. You know, it makes you think, as opposed to Spice Bomb, which I believe that it's in and out and it leaves the room empty, wanting more of the spice, wanting a follow-up. The longevity of both of these, I believe, will be the same. I've tried the Man in Black, and every time I've sprayed it on at night, I've sprayed it and I've smelled it in the morning. So that is great in terms of longevity. In terms of projection, I'd say that this projects more than the BVLGARI Man in Black, but this cannot be worn for the office. So overall, be careful when you spray it. Don't overspray it because it can be overpowering to some people in the beginning, in the first 15 minutes. But overall, this is a great warm, spicy scent. Warm, spicy, cardamom rich scent with a great leather base, just as its brother Man in Black. So check it out if you want something spicy. Definitely skip Spice Bomb, because I got this for £58. And if you want to spend a little bit more than the EDT or Spice Bomb, you can get a perfume that really works and is better than Spice Bomb Extreme. Spice Bomb Extreme and Spice Bomb has been done to death, but this is unique, masculine, edgy, and it's got a seductive vibe to it that I really love. I'd say it's not as versatile, but I'd say informally it's great. You know, this is a lot more versatile, Man in Black. So if you want something that lasts long and is spicy, check this out. If you want something that's a bit more versatile, spicy, and still got that leather vibe, go for the Man in Black. And if you want something a bit formal to compare against, and 5 hours sillage, 5 hours projection, not so long, you can get the Vivatus Oud. I like it for the sweetness, inoffensive sweetness, And if these two don't work, this will be much less offensive, even though it's got a rum note with cinnamon. So check it out, guys. So, what's my overall opinion of BVLGARI Man in Black? I would say it's a safe scent in the way that most people can wear it because it's so versatile. The leather, the booze makes it masculine, the iris and the tuberose makes it uplifting and crisp. So you can wear this in the office, get away with it. You can also wear this out informally, out with friends, whatever, because it's not offensive in the way it's too sweet. It's not too sweet, not too spicy, not so feminine with the iris because it's anchored down by the leather. And I think that it's the most recommended out of the 3 fragrances that I've shown. I brought the John Varvatos as a comparison to show a sweeter scent that also has rum, but this is not really an offensive scent. You can spray this and the way it dries down is masculine, crisp, and very versatile. So I'd recommend you get this, and if you're feeling more adventurous, check out the Black Orient. But at the end of the day, try and test it, and don't take my word for it. Test it out yourself, because you got to stay fresh, you got to stay original, and whatever you're doing, you find a mix that works for you. Take care, much love, bye.